Yes, let's work out your September 2024 exam paper where we were focusing on two exam papers. So first we'll take September 24, then Jan 20. Jan 25 was comparatively easier. September 24, you'll find few turn and twist there given by ICA. Now the first question is related to your composition scheme. So I presume basics of composition schemes are very clear. So what is the first question? I mean, you're talking about MCQs. Good that from September 24 onwards, your MCQs are also available. Before that, you will not know what MCQs are asked. Now MCQs are also available and you can easily validate the answers. Veena and Co. of Jabalpur is registered under GST under composition scheme. Outward supply of the firm for the month of July 2023 was 10 lakhs, out of which 2 lakhs is for, so 10 lakhs includes service. It is not 10 plus 2 lakhs. It is 8 lakhs goods and 2 lakhs services. In the preceding financial year, what will be the preceding financial year? 22-23. Now it is in 23-24. Preceding financial is 22-23. This firm was only doing trading of, this is very important, though it has got no significance finally in the answer, but it would have been relevant if at all there are other items. Trader will pay composition tax 1% only on taxable items, not on. So now it is only dealing with taxable goods. So anyways, it doesn't make a big difference. Turnover of the concern in the previous financial year is 100 lakhs. It is 100 lakhs. What is the limit for composition scheme? 1.5 crores. Is it within the limit? 75 lakhs is for special category. Generally it is 1.5 crores. Is this within the limit? Is it eligible for composition scheme? Yes. Clear? The firm imported the following services. Architect services from Vinod, partner of the firm. Who's there in France? Who's there in France for 1 lakh. The said service was paid but not used for furtherance of business. Consideration is there, business is not there. Consideration is there, but business is not there. Management consultancy services from Mr. Lal, a renowned lawyer who's there in Sweden, who was an ex-employee of the firm, not current employee, ex-employee of the firm. The value of the said services 3 lakhs, though it is used for business. So what is this? Business is there. I said you, ICI loves. Correct. ICI deeply loves importation of service. In one case, consideration is there, but business is not there. Consideration is there, but business is not there. Is it supply? Whether related or unrelated is not relevant. Is it supply? Yes, deemed supply section 71B. In the second case, business is there, but consideration is not there. Whether ex-employee of the firm is related person or unrelated person. So it is not from related person. It is not from Employee is related. Ex-employee is not related. Look at the way I say ask. Ex-employee. Right, unga ex mari kuduthruvaanga. And then you have to look at it. Oh, is it relevant or not relevant? Your ex is not relevant to you. Same way, ex-employee is not relevant, not related. Not related. Clear? Clear. Is it supply or not supply? This is not deemed supply. So it is not deemed supply as per section 7(1)(c), para 4, schedule 1. It is not covered. Why? Why it is not covered? இந்த மாதிரி ஹைலைட் பண்ணிட்டு நோட் பண்ணிட்டு இந்த டிஸ்கஷன் இருக்காது. அது எக்ஸாம் ஹாலில் நீங்கள் பண்ணணும். அண்ட் இந்த மாதிரி பேப்பர் பென்சில் எடுத்துட்டு நீங்கள் அங்கே போட முடியாது. யுவர் மைண்ட் ஹாஸ் டு ஒர்க். ஸோ எவ்ரிதிங் இஸ் வாட் வி ஹவ் டிஸ்கஸ்ட். பட் when it is given in language, you have to understand what are they trying to tell. What are they trying to tell? It may be relevant or it may not be relevant. Aggregate turnover of the firm crossed 150 lakhs on. Now, look at the trick. How did we decide that it is 150 lakhs? Jabalpur, which state? Generally, I say it doesn't place with this. They will normally give the state. You cannot find any ICA question where they tell that city geography. நீங்க எந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் படிக்கிறீங்க? Indirect taxes. Now you know geography. Yes, which state? Jabalpur, which state? Even if you don't know, ICA has helped you out. Right. So normally ICA doesn't have any intention of you knowing the geography. ICA wants you to understand when it is 75 lakhs, when it is Arunachal Pradesh, Tripura, Arunachal. So apni politics, nama politics, Arunachal Pradesh can be summarized SUM, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya in 3 things, 3 parts. Tripura. What is that summary of 3 things? Money, land and Ram. In politics in India, there are 3 important things. Money, land and Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram. Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram. So is it covered by name? Just Google Jabalpur which state. அது வருதா இல்லையா? ICA does not want you to understand that. ICA யோட intention இல்ல. Normally they would have written the state. மத்திய பிரதேஷ். அது ஸ்டேட் வந்துட்டு அவங்க கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க, MP கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. ஆனா அவங்க கொடுக்கல. Don't worry. They never want you to understand. அதுக்கு ஒரு சப்போர்ட்டிங் என்ன கொடுத்துட்டாங்க? They have given a support that it is crossing. Yeah, rest assured that it is not covered by Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Tripura, Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram. It is not covered by these states. If at all these covered states are there, it would have been. It is not covered by these states. So that help is done. And don't worry, states will be always be given directly or indirectly. இங்க கொடுத்துட்டாங்க 150 lakhs இருக்கு. So நீங்க பிரச்சனையே இல்ல. 150 lakhs தான் limit. அதுக்கு வேண்டியதா eligible. Now the limit was crossed at that point of time, and all the amounts which are given above are all exclusive of taxes. From the following information, now choose the most appropriate answer. And they have also clarified that all the supplies you take it as intrastate supply unless otherwise provided. Now, first, tax liability of Veena and Co for the month of July 23. You know, when you talk about your case studies, they are the best questions to be asked. Question நீங்க என்னன்னா important யோசிங்க, அது important இருக்காது. நீங்க எல்லாம் ignore என்ன பண்ணீங்க, that might be important. What is the tax liability? It is under louder, louder. Think, what is the July month's turnover? July month's turnover. Louder. 10 lakhs. Trader or manufacturer? So what is the percentage? 1% is total. CGST 0.5. 0.5. What is the answer? And look at the question carefully. They have asked each under CGST and SGST. Each. So what will be the answer? So don't select. Don't select. Emotional correct பண்ணிட்டு 10,000 select பண்ணீங்கன்னா gone. And all these wordings are important. Out of which 2 lakhs. Sir, service இருக்குல்ல சார், சர்வீஸ்க்கு 1% or 6 கிடையாது. You are a trader, 1% is applicable for goods as well as service along with the goods. What is the maximum service that you can have? 10% of previous year state turnover. What is 10% of previous year state turnover? 10 lakhs. Previous year turnover is 100 lakhs multiplied by 10%, 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs, whichever is not lower, higher. So you can have service up to in the entire financial year, not in a month, in the entire, it is within that limit. Is this clear? Is this clear? Next, import of service by Veena Limited, that will be treated as supply. That we have already evaluated. What is the import of service by Veena company? That will be treated as supply. 1 lakh, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. நான் ஆப்ஷன் பார்க்காம சொல்றதா இருக்கு. 1 lakh எல்லா permutation combination கொடுத்துருவாங்க. 1 lakh, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs or 0. We have already evaluated this. That this is deemed supply. This is why consideration is there. Business is not that. Don't worry whether related or we did not even evaluate it whether related or unrelated. Legally recognized partners are related person, but don't even evaluate it whether related or unrelated it is deemed supply. And here it is not supply. Why? Consideration is not there. Business is there, but it is not from. Look at the way they try to confuse. They unnecessarily put related person above. அங்கே ரிலேட்டட் தேவையில்லை, ஆனால் கொடுத்தாங்க. When you talk about the first point, importation of service from partner of the firm, not relevant. If business is not there and consideration is there, whether it is from related person or unrelated person is not. ஆனாலும் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. Relevant இல்லை. We did not even. Did I write related person there? So what is I did not relevant. Why should I write? So what is the answer? What is the answer? Answer is 1 lakh. Answer is 1 lakh. Veena and Co will be eligible to claim ITC on the stock and capital goods as on. When it is converting from composition scheme to regular scheme, it can take the credit as on stock of preceding day. So when it is crossing that limit, 25th of, so on as on stock of which date? As on stock of which date? Previous day. Now section 18 we are going to see tomorrow, right? As on stock of previous day. So if I am converting today, I have to take the stock as on previous day. To take stock as on previous day. See, if you look at things carefully, every question had a confusion point. Last question had a confusion point. Should I take today or previous day? Should I take today or If you take the previous point, every answer was right. 1 lakh irukla, 3 lakh miss panna adu irukla, rendu add pannittu irukla. And if you take the first point, each CGST and SGST, அது each miss பண்ணியாச்சுன்னா 10,000. ஏன் இமோஷனல் என்ன வருது சார்? காம்போசிஷன் ஸ்கீம் சார், ட்ரேடர் சார், தெரியும் 1% போடு 1%, 10,000 ரூபா. சூப்பர். அது 10,000 ஒன்று ரிமூவ் பண்ணிக்கோங்க, 4 பெரிய பெரிய ஜீரோ. ஆர் யூ கைஸ் கிளியர் திஸ் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங்? ஸோ now the first question I am demonstrating why I am taking this exam paper, because you feel you have gone right, maybe your mind is telling you the right answer, but when you are reading and applying it, you are not doing so. Silly mistakes agadu. There are silly mistakes that you commit. If I were ICI, I'll convert this question to next level question, though it is not applicable for inter level. Final la na innu confuse pannuva. What is the taxable value for importation of services by Veena and Company? 0. Because though this category, architect services from Vinod and all, it is deemed supply, but it is there in the exemption notification. Importation of services for personal use by individual or government is exempted, except for OIDRS services, except for, புரியுதா? So technically speaking, and the question is very clear, the question is only telling what will be treated as supply. Supply இருக்கு, ஆனா அது exempt supply. And the 1 lakh கூட, 1 lakh கூட. So if I wanted to convert this question for a final syllabus, I would have asked on what is, I would have given the rates of taxes. Import of service 18%. So RCM on importation of services will amount to A 0, B 18,000. I would not have given with value, I would have played with tax. Answer would not have been 18,000, answer would have been 0, because 1 lakh multiplied by 0%. It is supply, but it is exempt supply. புரியுதா? ICI has changed the pattern, you upgrade yourself. Questions are not, did we discuss anything which was not discussed in syllabus? Composition scheme 1% தெரியலையா? Composition scheme limit தெரியலையா? Service எவ்வளவு இருக்கலாம் தெரியலையா? You guys know that the 10% of previous year state turnover of 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. Trader 0.5%, 0.5%. Import exception service supply, you guys know. Application is what you have to do. Now let us move on to the next case scenario. Pawan is engaged in providing various services within the state of Rajasthan from May 2023. He has crossed the threshold limit on 4th July 2023. He applied registration on 2nd August 2023. He got registration on, when you are liable for registration, you should apply for registration within, louder, did he apply within 30 days? If he has applied within 30 days, what is the effective date of registration? Date of application or date when he is liable or date of grant? Date when he did his work on time, it is old date, past date. So what is the effective date of registration? Though we are not seeing the question, but this is one scenario. After taking registration, Pawan started business across India, including the supply of goods. He dispatched goods pan India on orders he got for the goods dealt by him. He received an order from Delhi for which he supplied taxable goods valuing 45,000 and GST was 12%. Along with that, he also supplied certain exempt goods valuing 4,000. He raised only one invoice for both taxable goods as well as exempt goods, single invoice. he asked his tax consultant for the requirement of generation of e-way bill. Tax consultant informed the requirement of e-way bill is based on consignment. E-way bill is one. There only one question which is always asked by ICA with respect to e-way bill is consignment value. That's it. That's it. Right. And from where he is supplying to where? He is supplying from Rajasthan to Delhi. So it is interstate movement. Interstate, because for e-way bill supply is not relevant. Movement is relevant. It is interstate movement. Interstate movement. Being a micro enterprise, Pawan did not receive timely payment from customers, as a result of which he was into severe cash crunch and was not able to make on-time payment to his suppliers. So he decided to shut down his business and got placed in software company as a senior program executive. While shutting down his business, he informed his tax consultant to cancel the registration. Tax consultant surrendered his registration online. On 25th of October 2023, and officer approved it on 31st of October 2023. Only theoretically. Cancellation does not happen in a week. It may take months or it may take years. Exam ku நீங்க apply பண்ணிட்டீங்க 25th of October, அவன் cancel பண்ணிட்டாரு 31st of October. Only theoretically. Right, all these informations are given. Now let us take one by one. All the above amounts are given are exclusive of taxes and choose the best answer. Effective date of registration. Louder. So you have already evaluated. Correct. Other questions we'll evaluate. What is the consignment value? For e-way bill, what is the consignment value? What are the taxable goods? 45,000. What is the rate of tax? So there is taxable goods 45,000 and exempt goods. What is the rate of tax? 12% on 45,000. 5,400. Now consignment value includes taxable supply plus GST on taxable supply, but will not include, though his invoice value would have been 54,400. Consignment value is only invoice value is 54,400. Consignment value will be only, definition of consignment value includes GST but excludes exempt supply. Due date by which Pawan is required to file final. What is the last date for filing final return? 3 months. Not 90 days. 3 months is different from 90 days. Don't make this mistake. 3 months is different from 3 months starting on 31st of March. 3 months will end when? April, May, June. 30th of June. Try calculating 90 days. 29th of June. 29th of. So never make this mistake of months and days. It is 3 months. So when his registration was cancelled by the officer? 31st of October. Add 3 months. November, December, Jan. November, December, Jan. Clear? Over. You would have found lot of unnecessary information. பிஸ்னஸ் செட் ஆகல, வேலை விட்டு போயிட்டாரு, இந்த கம்பெனியில் ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டாரு, வந்தாரு, சர்வீஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணாரு, அதுக்கப்புறம் கூட்ஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணாரு. Unnecessary information. You have to be very clear with what is relevant, what is irrelevant. First treat everything irrelevant. Then when you see the question, only focus on what are the relevant. Final return relevant area is only this area. Effective date of registration relevant area is only the first area. And When you talk about consignment value relevant areas only, this you be very clear. இந்த பேராகிராஃப் எல்லாம் கதையா போட்டிருக்காங்க. என்ன பண்ணும் இந்த கதைக்கு? Not relevant. When you even see it, our business start பண்ணாரு, goods start பண்ணிட்டாரு, serviceல இருந்து start பண்ணாரு, எதுக்கு relevant? Time pass. But you will not understand this without seeing the. So first read it fully, look at the question, see what was the relevant area, analyze it and get it. Smita Limited. This is a separate question. So 2 case studies are over. Now for a separate question. Smita Limited made an outward supply of garments for valuation. Takkana neengal paathu takkana answer. Don't give me a wrong answer. Don't even see the options. Go Green says levied by local corporation amounting to 10,000. Customer made payment within 3 days. Smita gave a discount of as a it is not agreed. Cash discount kadiyadu. நீ சீக்கிரமா கொடுத்தனா டிஸ்கவுண்ட் கொடுப்ப இல்ல. சரி இவ்ளோ சீக்கிரமா கொடுத்துட்டியா, எடுறா டிஸ்கவுண்ட். As a customer friendly measure, even though there was deducta, no deduction. Louder. Answer. Through this God, a religious trust under 12AA is providing services by way of renting of premises within the precincts of religious place, which is exempt up to. For 12AA trust, 3 things are exempted: room, hall and the shops in the precincts. Room 999 per day. Hall 9,999 per day. Shops 9,999 per month. 9,999 per month. So you're talking about normal renting of premises within the precincts of religious place. Now the question is actually not clear. It is talking about what? Premises பத்தி பேசுது. Renting of premises பத்தி பேசுது. So if you evaluate the option 999 per day, 1,000 and 10,000, remove it. Because the wording is not up to, the wording is less than. So at times you'll get these questions where you have to go with the leftover options. First remove what is wrong. So it cannot be 10,000, it cannot be 1,000. It's either 999 or 9,999. And the question is also not clear whether it is talking about rooms or halls. Rooms or halls. Ideally speaking, the question is having a problem. Tomorrow when we see question paper, we will see 2 problems in the question paper. So don't think that question is always clear. Rather, in one of the question, I say itself has written that out of syllabus. In the answer, it has not given answer. It has written problems. Ideally speaking, if I were writing the answer, I find both the answers equally right. Rather, I don't find any of the answer right. For me, if it is talking about renting of precincts of religious place, I'll only think of shops. I'll only think of where my answer would have been 9,999 per month. So as a best measure, I can go with halls option. ஏன்னா rooms பார்த்து பேசல, precincts பார்த்து பேசிருக்காங்கன்னா சரி பக்கத்துல கல்யாண மண்டபம் இருக்கும். See, it is all choosing the best, most appropriate. அதான் கொடுத்திருக்காங்களா? You could have always assumed rooms also, but I am going with halls option. I lost. Okay, I am going with this halls option which they have also selected. But believe me, none of the answer is right. Rather, it's not because of the answer, it's because of the question. When you see the exemption notification, You will find 999 per day, 9,999 per day, and 9,999 per month. They have not said what. They have not said what. Clear? So here, the best of first filter out answers which cannot be there. 1,000, 10,000, because it is less than, it is not up to. Then balance, it is 999 or 9,999 per day. So its room is not even pressings la very very kalyana mandapam hall pakkathula da irukku. Room adukulle da irukku. So we are going with your halls option. But if at all there was 9,999 per month, I would have gone with 9,999 per month, because pressings la ஒரு கோயில் வெளியில என்ன இருக்கு, ஜெனரலா ஷாப்ஸ் இருக்கு, ஜெனரலா ஷாப்ஸ் இருக்கு. So I would have gone with that option. Generally, if you imagine a coil, you will find rooms. கோயிலுக்குள்ளே ரூம்ஸ் இருக்கு, ஹால் அதுக்குள்ளே இருக்கும், சில டைம் வெளியில இருக்கும். பட் ஷாப்ஸ் வெளியில தான் இருக்கு, சரௌண்டிங்ல தான் இருக்கும். So this is the way where you are going to filter out your answers. Now, how much time we took? Half an hour, right? Don't you think that for 15 marks, ideally proper? And that too we discussed. We actually discussed NR relevant. MCQs are bonus if you know the concepts. You know the rather there were none of the questions which are coming from unimportant area except for the last point of exemption. And don't worry, if you remember the list I gave, there was section 12AA important exemption. Correct? Everything has come only from that important area. Now let us try to work out your other questions. DEF Private Limited, a registered supplier of goods and services in Pune, Maharashtra, has given you the following details for the month of January. So is that in Maharashtra, and he has given you the details for January. Last year turnover is given as 3.2 crores. It may be relevant, may not be relevant. Let us evaluate it. So last year turnover kuda kuduthirukanga. And it is registered, so you need not worry. It is registered. Interstate supply of taxable goods. Intrastate supply 5 lakhs. F Limited of Mumbai, which is unregistered, had promised to DF Limited in October 23 to complete a contract within 3 months, but they were not able to complete in the committed time. So DF Private Limited received a consideration for non-performance of the contract as per. This is actually part of supply. Now, is it supply or not supply? Penalty for non-compliance of a contract. Penalty received for non-compliance of a contract. X party, F Limited, has promised that I will be doing this work within 3 months, but he is not able to do, and therefore he is paying a penalty of. Is it supply or not supply? It is not supply. It is not at all supply. There is no quid pro quo. There's no quid pro quo. There's no contract. DEF Limited is not given anything. So you can tell not doing anything is also a supply. Correct. But for what? Promising or agreeing to do some, promising to refrain from an activity. Here, this amount DEF Limited, Private Limited is getting not because it has promised something and for which it has given, it is getting something. It is because the opposite party did not fulfill the promise and giving it. It is nothing but penalty for deterrent or punishment. Penalty for deterrent, or it is not offered as a service by DEF Limited. ரொம்ப lengthy circular இருக்கு, summary simple சொல்றேன். இதே மாதிரி penalty can be received by hotels or say flight airlines or railways, telling that நீங்க cancel பண்ணீங்கன்னா நம்ம penalty எடுப்போம், cancellation charges. அது penalty தான். அது ஆனா அது supply. எதுக்கு? They offer it as a service. நீங்க வாங்க cancellation 2 மாசம் முன்னாடி பண்ணீங்கன்னா full refund. 1 month முன்னாடி பண்ணீங்கன்னா 10% deduction. They offer it to you as a service. எல்லாம் அந்த கேட்டகரி அவங்க சர்வீஸ் ஆஃபர். சரி, நீங்க ஒரு டிக்கெட் ட்ரெயின் டிக்கெட் கேன்சல் பண்ணிட்டீங்க, ஃளைட் டிக்கெட் கேன்சல் பண்ணி நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் அவங்க பார் பண்ணுவாங்களா உங்களுக்கு? If you can book the tickets 100 of times, you can cancel the tickets 100 of times. They'll always be happy. They'll be giving you a smile. Super Rani cancellation charges kuda kudukra. And DEF Private Limited, when it is collecting a penalty from F Limited, is it happy to collect that amount or unhappy to collect that amount? They tell that F Limited, we are not tolerating this. We are collecting this as a penalty. Rather, next time we'll block you from our company. It might happen that we'll block you. We are not happy with this. எனக்கு இந்த 2 lakhs பெருசு இல்ல. நீ கமிட்மெண்ட் ஃபுல்ஃபில் பண்ண, நான் வேற கமிட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்திருப்பேன். I would have given my other commitment based on your, is it offered as a service and amount is received, or it is not offered as a service and you're collecting that amount as a punishment. It is called as a, இன்னும் சிம்பிளா சொல்லட்டுமா, நம்ம ஹெல்மெட் போடாம போறோம். If the traffic police officer is catching us, is it a supply? Super. நீ ஹெல்மெட் போடாத, நான் காசு எடுக்கிறேன். Tolerating your activity of not wearing the helmet. Is it offered as a service? No. Otherwise, tolerating an activity or refraining from an activity is supply of service. But it is not offered as a, it is not offered as a, it is a penalty. Day next time helmet போடு வராத, ஹெல்மெட் போட்டு வா, இல்லனா லைசென்ஸ் கேன்சல் பண்ணிட்டு வா. Whether the traffic policeman tells you daily, இன்னைக்கு ஹெல்மெட் போடாம போ பிடிக்கிறாரு 1000 rupees எடுக்கிறாரு, நாளைக்கு ஹெல்மெட் போடாம போ பிடிக்கிறாரு, again he is collecting 1000, again you are going. Third day if you see the same officer and he is again collecting amount, what will be the action of the officer? Daily I am catching hold of you and daily you are paying 1000 rupees. Next time if I see you, what I'll do? So he is collecting that amount as a service, tolerating this activity as a service, or tolerating this activity and collecting amount as a punishment. Not supply. It is not a supply. Right. Next, DEF is providing service of booking of flight tickets for employee of H Enterprises, which is registered in Delhi. It is there in Maharashtra and H Enterprises there in Delhi. In economic class in which district? Sister states plus Bagdora district of, if you've seen the exemption, you would have seen this term. Bagdora district of West Bengal. If you're going by air, whether it is embarking or terminating at northeastern states, Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, etc., and the sister states, plus Bagdora district of, and if it is an economic class, it is exempt. படிச்சிருக்கீங்களா? ஆனா இது ICI and it has shown the real face for the last 2-3 attempts. இது exempt கிடையாது. ICA has geared up. எதுக்கு exempt கிடையாது? Exemption is there for passenger transportation service, not for service of booking the flight tickets, not for air travel agent service. வித்தியாசம் இருக்கு. flight ticketக்கு exemption இருக்கு, ஆனா agentக்கு exemption கிடையாது. What is DEF Private Limited doing? It is acting as agent. Depth புரியுதாப்பா? Lot of students will see this Bagdora district of West Bengal, will see this economic class, emotional, super sir. இதெல்லாம் important category இல்ல, ஆனா நான் படிச்சிருக்க exemption. Economic class, Bagdora district of West Bengal, whether starting point is Bagdora or terminating point is Bagdora district of West Bengal, it is. ஆனா என்னத்த exemptionல இருக்கு? passenger transportation service. Question என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? Booking tickets. So it is not flight tickets. It is not about flight tickets. It is about agent. It is about agent. It's not exempt. It is not exempt. Okay. DA Private Limited has purchased goods worth 5 lakhs from R Limited, Gujarat. So even we'll evaluate it is CGST or SGST. இது என்ன இருக்கு? IGST. Place of supply evaluate பண்ணா. இது என்ன இருக்கு? IGST. Correct. ஏன்னா supplier மகாராஷ்டிரால இருக்காரு, recipient registered இருக்காரு and he's are in Delhi. So place of supply is normally registered recipient IGST. இது IGST. ஏன்னா supplier குஜராத்ல இருக்காரு, recipient மகாராஷ்டிரால இருக்காரு. This is all about inward supply. This was all about outward supply. This was also about outward supply, but it is not at all supply. This was CGST plus SGST, but it is not at all supply. And this is CGST, SGST, and it is all about interstate supply of taxable goods. Now, generally they are talking only about your by default. If it is not clearly given, you will always treat it as outward supply. Right. Next, DEF Private Limited has sold one of its unit as a going concern with all the goods and unexecuted orders to H Limited in. So it is again outward supply and it is again IGST. It is again IGST. But this is exempt. Sale of business as a going concern, wholly or partly, is exempt. DF Private Limited had provided services to Mr. Y, registered in Punjab, to organize business exhibition in Dubai. So is it about outward supply or inward supply? Outward supply. CGST or CGST or IGST? IGST. Exempt or not exempt? When you talk about business exhibition services for an exhibition which is outside India, is, look at the way they have connected exemption, they have connected supply, and obviously your input tax and output tax. Interstate supply of services, again it is outward supply. Interstate supply na IGST, which is 10 lakhs. Nothing is given means normal question. Amount towards receipt of, so is it inward supply or outward supply? Inward supply. And CGST or SGST? It is CGST plus SGST. It is receipt. You receive பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. So it is your purchases. 6 lakhs. Purchase of confectionery items. So purchase means inward supply, which are to be used free of cost to the customers in a customer meet organized by food and beverages. What is the concept here? Now opening credit balance is given, rates are given 9, 9, 18%, and all the figures are exclusive of taxes. All the conditions for ITC have been fulfilled. To break the question, it takes a time. Now the moment I have written all these notes, actually answer is done. Only to break the questions, it takes time. It is not that you guys don't know the concept. It is only that you are not reading the question properly. Rather, this batch onwards, even in my regular course, I'm on totally going to change the concept. Every day we'll be working out 10-15 questions. I'm done with the concepts. I've tried explaining the concepts, you know the concepts, but when you apply it, it's gone. Because where is the lacking is question. ஒரு வாட்டி கொஸ்டின் படிச்சுட்டு இப்படி எல்லாம் கேட்கறாங்க தெரிஞ்சிச்சுன்னா you are geared up even for a question higher than this level. நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் நீங்க படிக்கும் போது ஐயோ இவ்வளோ டெப்தா போடுறாங்களா, எக்கனாமிக் கிளாஸ் கொடுத்தாச்சு, பேக்டோரா டெஸ்டிக் கொடுத்தாச்சு, நான் எக்ஸம்ஷன் நினைச்சேன், ஆனா இது எக்ஸம்ஷனே கிடையாது, இது பேசஞ்சர் டிரான்ஸ்போர்டேஷன் சர்வீஸே கிடையாது, இது ஏர் டிராவல் ஏஜென்ட் சர்வீஸ். So when you are prepared to that level, when you see these questions again and again, listen, actually the answer பார்க்கிறது ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. Okay, we'll see answer. First outward supply போட்டுருப்பாங்களா? So point number 1, outward supply என்ன இருக்கும்? 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs இருக்குல்ல? 5 lakhs multiplied by, so CGST SG already போட்டாச்சு, அது CGST SGST, and this will be there in your output tax liability. So this is done. Point number 2, is it supplier not supplier? Is it supplier not supplier? Forget about taxable exempt. It is not at all. It is not at all supply. So point number 2 are the 2 lakhs not at all supply. கிடையாது. Right. Point number 3, exempt or not exempt? Exempt or not exempt? Though you feel economic class, Bagdora district, West Bengal, but finally it is not passenger transportation service, it is air travel agent service. Exempt or not exempt? So it is not exempt. Not exempt means taxable. GST will be there. CGST, SGST or IGST. So 20,000 multiplied by 9%, correct? 9, I mean CGST, SGST means 9 and 9. If it is IGST, it is 18%. We have already evaluated. It is IGST. Rate are given 18%. Done. Next. Is it about inward supply or outward supply? So we'll ignore for the now time being. Point number 5, inward supply or outward supply? Taxable or exempt? Sale of business on going concern. Sale of business on going concern. Sale of business on going concern. This area is exempt, 10 lakhs, no tax. Next, there was one more outward supply. Which is service provided to Mr. Y, which is IGST because he is registered in Punjab, but for organizing business exhibition in Dubai. Taxable or exempt? Taxable or exempt? This is also exempt. Nothing. Actually, technically it would have been IGST, but it is exempt. Forget about it. Next, there is one more outward supply. Intrastate supply of services. Sorry, not intrastate, it is interstate. So IGST. IGST how much? 10 lakhs. So it is 10 lakhs interstate supply of services, 1,80,000. So you do your workings, your calculator will help you out, you will get the answer. Outward supply. Now what about input tax credit? Opening balance is given in the question. Opening balance is given in the question. Right. Now there was certain inward supply. What was the inward supply? DF has purchased goods worth 5 lakhs on 15th of March 2023. The question is all about, don't forget this point, land 24. So do not go with your emotions. இது வந்துட்டு மார்ச்ல பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணாரு 23, பட் இப்போ 15th ஜான்ல டெபிட் நோட் 25 போஸ்ட் டெலிவரி சர்வீஸ்க்கு இப்போ அமெண்ட்மெண்ட் பண்ணி இப்போ டெபிட் நோட் கொடுத்திருக்காரு. Can I take the credit on the basis of debit note? So whether this 5 lakhs is relevant for me or not relevant? அந்த credit நான் அந்த டைம் எடுத்திருப்பேன். March 2023 I would have taken the credit. Now it is not about 5 lakhs. Do not forget this. The question is all about. And in Jan 2024 I have received debit note of 25,000. Can I take the credit? Yes. Because for time limit for debit note is separately there. It does not depend on invoice. We have discussed in your time limit. Can I take the credit now? Yes. The time limit does not end on 30th November 2023. Can I take the credit based on debit note? Yes. The debit note in the year vandirukku. Debit note, it has come in 2023-24. So debit note has come in 2023-24 means I still have time limit. I still have till 30th November 2024. But I'll take the credit now itself. Can I take the credit? Yes. Because it is all about time limit. You have to explain. Debit note time limit is independent that of invoice. It is not dependent on invoice. So will I take the credit? Yes, I will take the credit on this 25,000 multiplied by 18% because it was IGST. And I'll explain that for time limit for debit note is not dependent on invoice. Separately time limit is there. So still I can take the credit. Rather, in the Jan 24 I can take the credit till 30th November 2024. Last return in which I can take the credit is October 2024. It is not dependent on your invoice. Then what other inward supply was left out? So this page is entirely your what about the other inward supply? Your inward supply of 6 lakhs rupees. Interstate or intrastate? So what would have been given there? So 6 lakhs multiplied by 9% multiplied by 9%. Clear? Finally, what is the last inward supply? Which is there? Purchase of whether relevant or irrelevant? Irrelevant. Block credit. It is. Supplier would have charged GST. Supplier would have charged 18,000 GST. But relevant or irrelevant? I cannot take the credit. I cannot. Supplier surely would have charged GST, but it is a block credit. It is a block credit. It is disallowed. And it is not covered by subcontract or statutory obligation. So I cannot take the credit. Right? You'll get this answer. Done. Now, the only thing that you need to understand is bisecting the question. ICA plays beautifully. அவங்க கூட அவுட்வர்ட் சப்ளைஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கலாம், கூட இன்வர்ட் சப்ளைஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கலாம். அவங்க என்ன பண்ணாங்க? அவுட்வர்ட் சப்ளை நடுவுல inward supply. திருப்பி outward supply நடுவுல inward supply. So they do it only to make sure that your ability to read the question is proper. They are not testing you with the concept or part irukku, but your ability to read question is more important. What is given and what is asked for. Are you guys clear with this understanding? So they have not asked for set off, they only asked for output tax liability and question கரெக்டா படிங்க. அதுக்கு சார் நான் வந்துட்டு ஃபுல்லா பாஸ் மார்க்ஸ் 10 மார்க்ஸ் பார்த்துட்டு எனக்கு ஃபுல்லா புரிஞ்சிருச்சு. ஐ கால்குலேட்டட் நெட் அவுட்புட் டாக்ஸ் டு பி பெய்ட் இன் கேஷ். யாரா கேட்டாரு? क्वेश्चन என்ன கேட்டுருச்சு? அவுட்புட் டாக்ஸ் லைபிலிட்டி கால்குலேட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? ஓகே. क्वेश्चन என்ன கேட்டுருச்சு? போது. So that table that we always prepare, utilization of credit, not required. Not on the table போட்டுட்டீங்கன்னா you'll be wasting your time for which you will not get any marks. Read the question carefully. Are you guys clear with this understanding? Other questions are kutti question. See, this is also a simple question if you know how to bisect it, how to read it. And other points are very, very simple points. Next, you're talking about, are we guys clear with this understanding first? Are we guys clear with this understanding first? Right. Now we will read other points and I'm sure idhula rombo difficulty la varadu. ABC Infra, a partnership firm registered under GST. It is providing you information for, always be very clear with which month it is asking. So focus on only on Feb 2024. Consideration received from neighboring cooperative society as ABC agrees to install effluent plant for treatment of wastewater, even though there is no legal requirement to do so. So it is getting consideration from the neighboring. It is getting the consideration from the neighboring housing society as it is installing an effluent plant for treatment of wastewater. Whether there's legal requirement or no legal requirement, no need to worry. அவங்க agree பண்ணாங்க, they are giving this amount. So whether it is taxable or exempt? Taxable. Is it covered anywhere in exemption? No. So this is taxable. This is taxable. Next, consideration received from distribution of passes to watch a organized as firms annual event, not by CCI, organized by firms annual event. Total 500 passes have been, how much amount has been received? So what is per pass? Now, one of the important service that I said was sports. நான் சொன்ன குட்டி சர்வீஸ் இருக்கு. விராட் கோலி எக்ஸாம்பிள் எல்லாம் கொடுத்தார்ல, கரெக்டா? அதில் நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இமோஷனலாக நீங்கள் என்ன போப்பீங்க? சார், திஸ் கிரிக்கெட் மேட்ச் இஸ் நாட் ஆர்கனைஸ்ட் பை recognized sporting body, it is organized by non-recognized body. When you see that particular point, you will understand that whether recognized or unrecognized. Difference illa. If the ticket value is up to 500, entry admission is up to 500, it is exempt. It is exempt. எந்த டோர்னமெண்ட் இருந்தாலும் சரி, எந்த டோர்னமெண்ட் இருந்தாலும் சரி. So your emotional feeling will be, it is not organized by recognized sporting body. But the point is, you will see the exemption whether it is by recognized sporting body or not recognized sporting body. If the ticket cost is up to 500 per person, then it is exempt. புரியுதா? So if you go back and see that exemption notification, you'll understand. There are certain areas where ticket cost doesn't matters. For zoo, wildlife sanctuary, etc., etc. Whether the ticket value is 500 or 5,000 and all, it is exempt. Adu category irukku. Even that category is there. So for zoo, wildlife sanctuary, archaeological sites, adukella and the categories kella, irrespective of the ticket cost, it is exempt. Purida? Rather, this is not only for this particular event. Even when you say it's a star, the annual event, actor and actress Zee Cine Awards. Right, even that event is covered. If you go there and ticket cost is up to 500 per person, it is exempt. It is exempt. Next, now you are prepared for this. I don't know why in the same question paper they repeated it twice, because they wanted to play twice. Service of booking in Manipur. So Manipur irukku, economic class irukku, sister states irukku, emotional feeling, and it can be either embarking or terminating. So Manipur can be embarking or terminating, just like Bagroda district of West Bengal. But it is not exempt. Why? It is not of passenger transportation services, it is air travel agent services. So taxable or exempt? Taxable or exempt? Taxable. Right. Now, what we have seen is government services when supplier is the government. But I said entire government service is important. So government services when recipient is government, there are few exemptions. There are. So Service given for construction of building to state government. Please understand now, state government is not the supplier, it is the recipient. It is the recipient in related to function which is there under Article 243W, where construction material used is 2,79,000 and total value is. Please see the way ICAI has changed its way. It kutti minute points pakra. So here government is not, if government is a supplier, then it is not at all supply. It is not at all. Government is not the supplier. Government is the, when government is the recipient, supplier yaru? Supplier in the all. ABC Infra. Supplier in the all. ABC Infra. So when government is the recipient and the service relates to Article 243G or 243W, two things are exempt. If it is pure service or if it is goods plus service, but goods should be up to 25%. Goods plus service works contract, but goods should be up to. Goods எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? Goods எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? 279, 375 divided by total value is எவ்வளோ percentage? Approximately 30. Goods or value 25% வரைக்கும் இருக்கா? More than 25%. Taxable or exempt? புரியுதா? So normally exemption chapter does not carry so much weightage. This September 24 was an exception where they have given high weightage to, but don't worry, we had prepared a list of services long back. This was discussed in last batch. So these are the 8 services which are very important, right? And most of the questions actually are coming. Sports indircha, government indircha. Yes, one service which was there in exemption but not covered was not important and suddenly asked. Transportation of passengers. Transportation of, அது not important ஆனா கேட்டிருக்காங்க. ஆனா அதுவும் exempt கிடையாது. ஏன்னா exemption is for passenger transportation service when it is embarking or terminating at certain places, airport. But this was not passenger transportation service. This was air travel agent service. Now, what is finally that? Taxable, exempt, taxable. So if you see the answer, so first will be taxable, then it will be exempt, then it will be taxable, and finally it is taxable because of that 25%. Obviously you have to make notes whether it is inclusive, exclusive. Generally if it is not given, it is all exclusive and all. Purida? So that was about your question number 5. Now don't worry, when you see these questions you will find that ICAI has gone to a very next level and asked only tough questions. Yes, there are few. MCQs was comparatively medium category. The questions which were discussed above were actually of more than medium category, which means yes, there were areas where students were about to go wrong. But now if you see the balance questions, you will find that things are very, very simple. It is very rombo basic question, 5 marks கேட்டிருக்காங்க. T is a registered dealer in trading in different types of machinery and related different types of services. The aggregate turnover in 22-23 is 1.32 crores. It was the first year, therefore they did not provide any services. Relevant கிடையாது. நமக்கு தேவை aggregate turnover. அதுல machinery இருக்கா, service இருக்கா தேவையில்லை. Actually this is irrelevant factor. We want aggregate turnover in your previous year. Which state he is into? Andhra Pradesh. So what is the limit? Whether the previous year turnover was up to 1.5 crores. So can he go for composition scheme? Yes. So whether in previous year he had service or he did not have service is totally irrelevant. From financial year 23-24, they are planning to provide even repair and maintenance services, which will be approximately 6.25 lakhs, for which they have to purchase some raw materials of 5 lakhs from. Till now they are not purchasing from other state, they were purchasing from within the state. Now, if you are under composition scheme, can you purchase from other state? Yes. Interstate inward supply is allowed. Only interstate outward supply is not allowed. Rather, even import is allowed. If I am under composition scheme, can I import? Yes. I can purchase from other state. I can even import from other country. I cannot sell to other state. I cannot export. So, is there any problem with my purchases? No. From the following information, kindly examine whether T can opt for composition scheme under 10.1, 10.2a or 10.2. Rather, actually, there is only two. 10.1 read along with 10.2 and 10.2a. So, why they have drafted this type of question is not known. There are only two types of composition scheme. Section 10.1 along with section 10.2, normal composition scheme. Section 10.2a, special composition scheme. Now tell me which composition scheme they are allowed. This is a question, simple question. Which composition scheme they are allowed? Normal composition scheme or special composition scheme? Normal or special? You can go for special only if you're not eligible for normal. So sequences, first evaluate normal, then think of. Whereas when ICA has given the answer, it has collapsed it. First they have evaluated even special. No. First evaluate normal. First evaluate, are they eligible in normal? Is their previous year turnover up to 1.5 crores? If it is under special, 50 lakhs. So even don't think about it. First, are they eligible for normal composition scheme? Yes. Yes. Entry point is allowed. Can they have service in normal composition scheme? Yes. What is the maximum service that they can have? So in current year, what is the maximum service they can have? 10% of previous year state turnover, which is 13.2 lakhs or 5 lakhs, whichever is. So what is the service that I can have? And what amount of service I am planning to have? Am I within the limit? And don't worry, even if it is crossing, at that point of time, I will be going outside composition scheme. So, I am having service which is going to be within the limit. Second, can I purchase from other state? Yes. So, under which composition scheme I will be fitting into? Normal, section 10.1 read along with section 10.2. Should you evaluate 10.2a? No. ICA is evaluated. It's a final you have to write. As the assessee is eligible for normal composition scheme under section 10.1 read along with section 10.2, evaluation of special composition scheme under section 10.2a is not at all required, because only if you are not eligible for normal composition scheme, you will think of special composition scheme. Clear? Rather, ICA has written answer, it cannot go for special composition scheme as previous year turnover is more than 50. They will. In normal composition scheme, fit agna special composition scheme touch panada. So this is a simple question worth 5 marks. Now, Garima, having its permanent residence at Bhavnagar, Gujarat, purchased car from Kiara Motors, Rajasthan. Because of low road registration charges, road tax, whatever reason she has purchased. Now, Garima took the delivery of car from Jaipur and returned with the car to her residence in Bhavnagar, Gujarat. Address of Garima was recorded in invoice, had only the name of the state Gujarat, not her entire address. What is the place of supply? Garima is unregistered and Kiara Motors is supplier is registered and recipient is, yes, place of supply. Section 10. When customer is unregistered, There was an amendment last year, rather 1.5 years before, when supplier is unregistered, when recipient is unregistered, then place of supply is address of the recipient if it is known. If it is not known, location of the supplier. Wait, and they have given an explanation. Address of the recipient generally is full address, but for this purposes, having the state name itself is sufficient. Having the state name itself is sufficient. So what would be the place of supply? What would be the place of supply? Gujarat. Recording the name of the state itself is sufficient as the entire address of unregistered person. Gujarat. Over. Clear? Place of supply is a mandatory question, just like your valuation question. It's a mandatory question. Next, another place of supply, 3 marks. Akar Advertising Agency, a registered person in Nagpur, Maharashtra, wants to display products of its client at the most prominent places in different states. It took the rights to use the space on hoardings mounted on fixed surface attached to earth, situated in Udaipur, Rajasthan, and in Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, from GN Enterprise, registered in the state of Chhattisgarh. Akar Advertisement Agency has exclusive right to use that space and put whatever advertisement they want in that hoardings. What is the place of supply given by GN Enterprise? Till now the focus was on Akash Enterprise, but supplier is not Akar Advertisement Agency. Supplier is GN Enterprise to Akar Advertising Agency. Where is the GN Enterprise located? Chhattisgarh. So supplier is, location of supplier is Chhattisgarh. Where is the place of supply? This place of supply is related to, not at the right point. Think, what is the service given by GN Enterprise? Look at the question and think, what is the service? Is it advertisement service or some other service? The question is not about place of supply of Akar Advertising Agency. That is advertisement service. The question is about supply by GN Enterprise. Letting out of immobile property related services. Immobile property related services. It is giving you the space where you can put your hoardings, it is giving you a fixed surface which is attached to earth where you can put your hoardings. So ICI knows how to distract your mind. First keep on talking about Akar Advertisement Agency. So your focus shifts only to advertisement. Suddenly talk about what is the place of supply given by GN Enterprise. GN Enterprise is not into advertisement. GN Enterprise is only giving you space. Is that space? You advertisement board. You want to put advertisement of X company, put X company Y, you do it. You give me that rental amount for that space. So when you talk about your immobile property related services, it is always a location of immobile property. So there will be two answers. For the hoardings in Udaipur, the place of supply is Udaipur. For the hoardings in Gwalior, the place of supply is Gwalior. Because it has given two places that you can put hoardings here and you can put hoardings here. Purida? What was difficult to crack? It is only question. The moment you know it is all related to immobile property. For immobile property related services, whether you are registered or unregistered is not relevant. If you see place of supply, for few services, if you are registered, answer is location of recipient. If you are not registered, answer is separate. But for immobile property related services, whether you are registered recipient, see recipient, Akar Advertisement Agency is registered. So whether it is registered or unregistered is not relevant. For immobile property related services, place of supply is always location of Immovable property. That's it. Clear? Clear? This was dealing with your place of supply. So 5 simple marks for composition scheme and 5 simple questions. Yes, in that place of supply, that advertisement agency, I'll not tell it is tricky, but if you lose focus at the end of the question, then it is tricky. Then you fail to understand whether it is advertisement. If at all it was advertisement service, the answer would have been under general section. The answer would have been under section 12.2, not under immovable property related category. Now, the next question, you are talking about TDS provision. Very simple question, worth 5 marks. So you will get all simple questions also worth 5 marks. TDS provision, right? So when you talk about Mohan, a registered person in Salem, Tamil Nadu, makes an intrastate supply of goods, taxable goods amounting to 13 lakhs 57,000 inclusive of GST to a public sector undertaking. Consideration is received in 5 equal installment from PSU. Right? What is the GST rate? 18%. So what is the value other than without GST? Multiplied by 100 divided by 11 lakh 50. For TDS provisions to applicable, what should be the contract value? More than 2,50,000. It is not more than or equal to. If it is exactly 2,50,000, which ICA has asked, TDS is not applicable. The contract value is more than, it's applicable. See, contract value is 11,50,000. The payment is made in 5 equal installments, not relevant. Separate a tani invoice. Okay, divide 11,50,000 divided by 5. What is the answer? 2 lakh? 2,30,000. 2,30,000 is not the base. 2,30,000 is every invoice value. But what is the contract value? For TDS application, whether it is contract value that is relevant or invoice value that is relevant, TDS is applicable. What will be your view with respect to TDS provisions? TDS, what is the TDS rate? 2%. And as it is in the same state, intrastate supply, TDS will be 1% CGST and 1% Tamil Nadu SGST. 1% CGST and 1% Tamil Nadu SGST. What is the period by which TDS is required to be deposited? What is the due date of payment of TDS? So first, whether TDS is applicable? Yes, answered it. Next question. What is the due date of payment? Yo, income tax TDS pati pesla. I'm not talking about income tax. 10th of next month. 10th of next month. In income tax it is 7th. But in GST it is 10th of next month. 10th of next month. GST are 7 is the written filing form. So TDS and TCS, GST are 7 and GST are 8. Both due date of payment is 10th of next month. Payment and written filing is 10th of next month. So next is a theoretical question. What are the details or records which is required to be maintained by works contract? See, this is an area where ICA should have been cautious. Accounts and records earlier was part of the syllabus, but now suddenly it is removed from the syllabus. Putti chapter da. It is removed from the syllabus. Accounts and records. Update accounts and records. It was earlier part, it is removed. Updated version, we have to see whether the updated version of ICA gives it part of syllabus or not. Accounts and records. Accounts and records are still special accounts and records. So, accounts and records, at that point of time, it was part. Suddenly, in between, if you see the ICA website, that chapter was not there. So, now updated version has to be evaluated whether it is it there in the updated version of yours? Accounts and records. You have to maintain your records for 72 months and all. Is it there? There? Okay. So, Nadula Mattu, it was removed. But now if it is there, then this question becomes relevant. Works contract with special accounts. Each contract wise, how much goods I am receiving, from whom I am receiving, to whom I am giving, how much quantity and value I am giving. Each has to be maintained separately. So, that is a theoretical question. The list of accounts and records have to be given. This is the list of accounts, special accounts and records which has to be given. Each works contract. If I am a builder doing building for 10 buildings, doing works contract for 10 buildings, I have to maintain it separately. Who's my supplier? Name and address of my supplier. Who's my customer? Name and address of my contractee. And what is the goods that I am receiving for that contract? Quantity, value for the goods received, and the quantity and value for the goods which is used in the works contract along with closing stock. So that is a list of records that is to be maintained for each works contract separately. If I am doing works contract for 10 buildings, I have to maintain it separately for each of the 10 buildings. What is the payment that I have made to my supplier? What is the amount that I have received from my contractee? What is the amount that I have received from my? This is a list that is to be maintained separately. And finally, the last question. Importation of service. If you want to see the love again. Already it was asked in the first question. Already in MCQ it was asked in the first question. What is given here? Theoretical provision. Please explain the provisions of importation of service which is there in section 71B and 71C. Schedule 1, para 4. Explain it. Finished. What is the marks? 5 marks. That explain pannadukku 5 marks. Right. List who are the persons who are exempted from e-invoicing. This is an important chapter. We'll be seeing it tomorrow. E-invoicing exempted yaar irukanga. All the special peoples. SEZ and all last paakalam. Special peoples. Banking sector. Insurance sector. Goods transportation agency. Passenger transportation service. Passenger transportation service. Then you have other special sectors, government departments and local authorities. And SEZ unit. SEZ, developer of SEZ has to generate e-invoice, but SEZ unit. SEZ unit. So this we'll be seeing it tomorrow. So this list, what we have seen. One more sector is that your multiplex. Your multiplex. So that was missed out. These are the sectors which are exempted from your e-invoicing. Which are exempted from your e-invoicing. So this is discussed. Even this was discussed in the morning. GST Council, any act or proceedings will not be invalid for certain reasons. Just because there is a defect or vacancy in GST Council, your acts will not be treated as invalid. If there is a defect in appointment of a member, your acts will not be treated as invalid. If there is mere procedural lapse, your acts will not be treated as invalid. Right. Or there is another alternative question would be certain additional records which are to be maintained by special agent. Special agent, which means agent who has the right to raise invoice in his own name, will maintain records. Who is the principal? What is the authorization given by the principal? What are the goods along with quantity and value received from the principal? What are the goods description along with quantity and value given to the customers? What is the tax paid? And finally, what is the account settlement? What happens in GST is different from what is happening in your books. Your books will be different. Your GST will be different. In your books, it will be commission. But in GST, it will be purchase and sale. So ICI, someone asked me in the break, sir, idu mattu idu paatha poduma. I said 35 to 40 marks, whatever 50 pages is there is sufficient. Right? Balance 10 to 15 marks. ICA has changed the pattern. If at all you are asking me 2-3 attempts earlier, whatever is given in your terms of 50 pages to you, almost 40 to 45 questions, 44 to 45 marks was asked only from that. But now ICA is asking from areas which are never asked. In this question itself, 2 times. Actually, this question paper is not an ideal question paper. I'll tell you why. 2 times they have evaluated the same concept of importation of services. Not necessary. 2 time. MCQ, kill you. So 2 marks there and 5 marks here. Forget about it. 2 times they have asked about special accounts and records maintained by special people. 1, you're talking about works contract. 1 about agent. If you want to ask only 1. So 2 times they have repeated, and that chapter is at least important. That chapter is from the least important chapter. You could have skipped this 5 marks because there was an option. There was an option, but again, here it was what? At least 5 marks you have lost. And the option விட்டுறலாம். ஆனா இந்த 5 marks போயிடுச்சு. Again 2 times. Forget about it. 2 times they have evaluated the same option of exemption for your flight. Bagdora district of West Bengal, Manipur. But there was no exemption in both the places because it was not passenger transportation service, it was only air travel agent service. So 2 times they have asked you to evaluate the same thing. When there are so many questions to be asked, they are sticking at only 2 times again. Wait, 2 times they have evaluated composition scheme. One in MCQs, not 1 marks. It was what? 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 marks. If you go back to their MCQ, it was what? 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 marks. And once separately evaluating composition scheme. So this question paper was a surprise question paper. 4 concepts were repeated twice. Importation, exemption for that transportation, composition scheme, and accounts and records. It is not a wise question paper, and there are a lot of chapters which are important which are not even tested. RCM. The importation of service vittukonga. RCM is not even evaluated. There cannot be a question paper without RCM, but this is an exception. Time of supply. Say time of supply vidungala normala eppome varadu. Interest is a very important question. Interest question kekala. Interest question they did not even ask. Written filing pati or final written pati ketanga. They did not even bother to ask. Normally documents pati kepanga, mainly debit note, credit note and revised tax invoice. Kekala. Registration pati normal question irku. And the 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 10 lakhs, for sure every question paper you open up and see, you will find a question of 22, 23 and 24. Skipped. So this was a bouncer question paper, and I term this quality of question paper excellent as well as bad. Excellent because there were a lot of areas where they actually had a lot of turn and twist. Bad because 4 concepts were repeated 2 times each. When you are repeating the concepts, you are not asking other question. Repetition irukudadu. Oru question paper la thiruppi repetition endiruchna, if the student knows it, he will be happy. If he doesn't know it, question paper paathu ennada idhe question thiruppi kekranga, he'll be unhappy. Right? So it is excellent because of the type of wordings, bad because of repetition of 4 concepts twice. Clear? Right? Don't worry. This was an exception to the paper. So normal Jan 25 question paper paapola. So on the time you will feel that okay, this is not always the question paper, and I wanted to discuss September 24 question for sure. Even if I'm taking for say next 2-3 items kapro eduthalu in the question paper eduthu vaapa, I say gives bounces. Normally you are always prepared with all the types. Utilization of question, you show me any question paper without utilization of credit, there is no question paper idhula kadiyadu. Valuation of periya question irukku, idhula or 2 marks ku kettiranga. They ask only for 2 marks. Right? ITC normally 12 to 15 marks. Kadiyadu. Idla 12 to 15 marks. Kadiyadu. It has made sure that ICI ku main una, they can change the pattern at any point of time. ICI kuda marks weightage kudukula. That ICI did not follow. And ICI written normally we follow this pattern. That normally the keyword. There are exceptions. There are exceptions. This was an exception. Thank you for spending time, and this should be a benchmark. Don't worry, don't be afraid seeing this question paper, but open up your mind how to interpret the questions. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow, same timing, 9:30.